Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, this is Tyler Bryan Hour, TBH Hour, or TBH, episode 26. I am your co-host, Be Heard, a.k.a. Brian, a.k.a. Prince, a.k.a. Prince Virgil Wathain. 26 of the things. That is a crazy margin. Tyler, you want to say something to the people?
How's it going, people? It's Tyler the Libra, a.k.a. TTL, a.k.a. just Tyler. So, yeah, episode 26. This is the most consistent that we've ever been, honestly. And as pretty much surprising that we've come a long way and we're like at this point where we're like finally getting, stuff cooking as far as like, banging them out one by one by one by one.
Well, honestly, I think it's, to go on a quick tangent, I think it's honestly because we have a place. And
I have a place.
Okay, Negro. You have a place that we can use, and the fact that we have a place is like the most consistent thing that we've ever had in this podcast. But this is a very special episode. This, you would think we're like misogynistic or something like that to go 26 of the things without having a single female guest on the show. But this person that we have as a guest, I always tell them that they are like beautiful inside and out. And I think one of the few beauties of life are like people with a good soul. And what I mean by that is like, so of course there's nice people, but there's like those people that like motivate you in a way that's like a good soul and a good person and a good heart, that you need them to stay that way. So because like the world's fucked up, like the world sucks, like life sucks, like, so that's why when I always see this person, I always tell her like, yo, keep being dope. And none other than Anna. You want to say something to the people?
Hello, thank you so much for introducing me that way. I feel like I'm like, I don't know. It makes me feel good, knowing that I help people like that.
Well, that's why I don't know. I'm a good observer, I guess is the word of that. And I'm like, all right, this is a dope person. Like stay this way as long as you possibly can.
I'll try my best, but
the world is crazy. I just want to say that was pretty much freestyle. I knew where I wanted to go with that, but then like I just kept flowing, and then this nigga kept making a face. And like,
about what?
that intro. That's what threw me off.
I took off my glass. I can't see.
Nigga, you went like this, and like you was like Clark Kent or something.
Tyler agrees. For sure. Me and Tyler help each other out a lot.
Me and Anna go way back to probably 2011 or so. Yeah. 2012, one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was funny too, because like I would come so in our high school there was like for lack of a better term, maybe affiliate high school where everybody went to Central Campus, and I would get back, and then I would see Anna with Tyler, and like they would almost look like best friends. So I was like, "What's this?" Like I don't know what this is. And yeah, y'all just been best friends ever since, or like real good close friends. I think we're gonna start off the podcast with traveling. Now, the more I think about traveling, I don't know why you doing the Birdman hand, some expertise in it, but the more I think about it. And I've been thinking about this lately. I think I do want to move, but the only problem with me in traveling is like the only place that would really benefit me is probably California. And I hate how everybody and their mama always says, I'm gonna go to California, but like realistically, everything that I want to do in the realm that I want to be in as far as gaming and content creating goes, everything's there in California. So I guess the question for the topic of traveling is, do you think Iowa would be essentially your like deathbed? Like, are you going to raise a family here? Are you going to stay here for the rest of your life? I mean, is this where you're going to be
at? Anna just gave
she looked at me like,
I sure hope not. Oh my goodness.
Well, I mean, like, is this where you're going to reside for the rest of your life? That's what I'm trying to get at.
I mean, I hope not. I don't necessarily see myself ever like raising a family. I don't know. I just don't think that's like.
Although Iowa is like, I think it's like top 5.
No, yeah, for sure. If I decide that like one day that's in the future plans, then maybe. But like right now, being 23 years old, I don't even want to think about that. And I definitely do not want to be in Iowa my whole entire life. Like I want to move away, experience different life, different states, different scenery.
I think that's the worst part, because it's like I do want to move, but I don't want to. I don't want to, in a weird way, I don't want to get tied down. Like like you don't want to get into like, not saying I wouldn't welcome a situation or anything like that would tie me to Iowa, but like I want to just have the option to where if I want to drop everything today, like I should be able to leave. What about you, Tyler? Like, you gonna stay here or?
Like I thought about it, like, and I always felt that like Iowa, I mean, granted, we've lived here our entire life, so I always felt like Iowa was one of those places that like after you do everything, you settle down here. As far as like, you know, making a family and then kind of just building up from there. And I don't know if I would want to stay here my entire life, but you know, I think I have a couple years left here. I would like to think that, but I mean, looking at my pops and my mom, they've stayed here, you know, throughout their entire life. My grandma is actually from, on my mom's side, my grandma is from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So my mom always takes trips up there, and like I always ask her, you know, would you consider going back, like moving back up there at any time? And she was like, you know, I'm so indebted to being here. I've raised like 3 kids here, you know, and there's nothing, I know for a fact that there's nothing up there for me that I can't do here still. So that's always been her mindset, where she just feels content and she doesn't feel like she needs to go anywhere.
Well, actually, so none of you guys have ever lived anywhere else, right? Like, you've only lived in Iowa?
I've only lived in Iowa, yeah.
So I had a year and a half or so where I lived in Arizona, and like my dad put it in a really good perspective for me, because he was like, he's basically like, if you're not the man here, you're not going to go anywhere else to be the man. And like that was the harsh reality of learning that, of living in Arizona, because I lived in Mesa, Arizona. This is a nice parts. It has nice parts, but like I used to walk to work. I used to walk to LA Fitness, which was like a 2-mile walk every night, and this is like midnight. And like on some schoolgirl type shit, I had my backpacks in my hand. I was like walking in the hood. I was like, man, if someone wanted to rob me right now, they could. Like, it was scary, but it was a cool experience. And the only thing that like was like, Arizona is like, I don't want to say Iowa, the West or something. It's like one of those, like, I think Arizona would be a good comparison to like Minnesota, where it's like big, but it's not too crazy. But it was so big in the sense that like 15 minutes here would be like Des Moines to like West Des Moines. Like you could get pretty far. 15 minutes in Arizona, that shit is a mission. Like you're not walking that, you're not biking that. Like that shit is way out there. And like how traffic is and things of that nature, like it's definitely overwhelming, but I definitely think if you're going to do it, you have to do it. Like, that's literally what I did. I only went out there with $1,000 and a dream. I should have went out there with way more. But it was real nice. And then to also talk about traveling, one of my good friends, he's kind of working for business and he's traveling, and I think that was another approach that I did have, like, to where if I was to stay in Iowa, that I would take it from his perspective, because it's always nice to go to certain places and travel, but it's always nice to come back, because like Iowa is just a good base. Like you would literally have to be physically asking for, I mean, there's your bad neighborhoods and things of that nature, but you would have to be asking for trouble to get really bothered with in Iowa. Like, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Were there any plans to travel this year before, obviously, the pandemic and things of that nature?
Fuck, man, I wanted to go back to Oregon and not only see our good buddy Brent. Shout out to Brent. But the atmosphere out there, as far as
it looks beautiful.
It does. And like being on like the coast area and like just being able to see like the ocean and stuff like that, and being able to go through like different types of like roads that like lead to like certain like there's hella lighthouses in Oregon.
But you always say like you want to be an outdoors person. You are also, you got that, like, that gene in me, like, where you're a homebody to a T. Are you sure you're gonna be able to make the transformation to like being like an outdoorsman all the time? Because like I'm just saying, like, most of those areas are that. Like,
I mean,
That's a valid point.
fuck, I feel like it's not that hard.
it
We'll
can
see.
be. So the only
Depends on
Oregon,
if I go out there.
only Oregon for you, or were you trying to go to other places?
I would like to visit Seattle because I think it's really interesting up there, and people say there's hardly ever any sunshine. It rains a lot and stuff like that. It's more moderate than it is anything else, and I just want to go out there and see it myself. As far as like pretty much anything that's on the Pacific Northwest around that area, and I also thought while I was driving through, going to Oregon. Utah is probably, the state of Utah is probably the most extraordinary sight that I've ever seen in my fucking life. Like, as far as like just being able.
But that's
Okay.
that's
Are pretty.
I'm good on Utah.
I mean, being us, yeah, we're good on Utah. But like, as far as like seeing, stuff like that, and like the Rocky Mountains and everything, and it just makes me like feel more alive and be like, wow, people really fucking live here. Like, just like they wake up every day and they see that sight like in their backyard, or just like going 10 miles from Salt Lake or to wherever,
Like
Surreal.
it's funny. I called it like,
and it'd be 70 fucking degrees and there's snow on the mountains.
like I call it like white people shit. Like, what I mean by that is, I think last year I went like through the trails and just running and like casually running. I was like, oh, I see. I get why y'all do it now. Like, this shit is like kind of a high in a way of like it's adventurous and doing stuff like that. I wouldn't mind living out in like Seattle or Oregon if I didn't go to like Arizona or California. What about you, Anna? Were you going to travel anyway? Did you have anything planned?
Yeah, 2020. I mean, 2020 has been hard on everyone, but 2020 was really hard on me in the sense that I had to learn quick that not everything goes as planned. I mean, all throughout college, I worked 2 jobs while obtaining a degree. I overworked myself like crazy just because the plan was that once I graduated, I would travel. So that was the plan, and I was supposed to leave May 30th.
Wasn't you supposed to go abroad at one point?
Yeah. So I was backpacking Europe. I was going to be gone for 5 months, and I was just planning a month at a time.
Right.
So my first stop was, I had a day layover in Lisbon, Portugal, just because I was going to meet some friends there and grab food and whatnot with them. But then I was going to be in Dublin, and then from Dublin I was going to London, and then that's all I had planned.
Oh, wow.
Thus far, because I was planning a month at a time. But yeah, so that obviously had to get canceled, which, I mean, I have a ton of flight vouchers and stuff to use now, so I guess there's like a silver lining, like I can still travel and stuff. It's just when it'll be safe is the question. And I mean, I learned a lot from this experience, on just like processing and having to understand that even though you work really hard for things, sometimes it just doesn't go your way, and like that's okay, So I mean, it was cool in the end, but yeah, I had a big 2020 planned. I was also supposed to go to Coachella strictly to see Frank Ocean with 2 of our really close friends. So that also got canceled, but we still have the tickets and everything, so we'll go whenever they have it again.
Coachella would be dope, but like Coachella, you would not have to not touch anything like that shit.
Oh no, I 100%. I'm so happy they canceled it because they were. I mean, even when they bumped it back to October, I was like, no, like we're moving that. Like even they're talking about moving it back, they moved it all the way back to April of next year, so April 2021. And now they're even talking about moving it back to October of 2021. And I would say I probably would even prefer that, I mean,
I think that's the safest bet.
That's too many people in one area,
Well, I think they always say like they have the biggest like herpes outbreak. They have like,
no. I mean, granted, I'm not out there doing that type of stuff, but
well, it's just also because
they do.
like it's like a camping site almost.
Yes.
Like people
No, it is.
don't leave.
Yeah.
Like don't shower and like all types of nasty, disgusting
Yeah.
shit.
Like a Woodstock or an Altamont.
Yeah, so
that.
it's just like, man, COVID would have just clean clock.
Right.
I know. We had an Airbnb scheduled, and we're still scheduling an Airbnb. We just let our friend keep all the money, you know, so whenever they decide on a specific date, you know, we'll schedule an Airbnb for then. But I don't know, it should be fun when it happens. I will be upset though if Frank Ocean is not there, which he probably won't be. We'll shed a little tear because that's the main reason why I wanted to go, but that's okay.
I didn't know that you was that big of a Frank Ocean fan.
Oh, I love Frank Ocean.
You know, me and him have the same birthday.
No way. Blessed.
October 28th.
Blessed.
What else was I going to say about traveling? I think this year I really just wanted to go to mainly the biggest FGC tournaments. So I was going to go to Chicago.
Cool.
I was going to go to Combo Breaker, and then I wanted to go to Florida, and then I wanted to go to Evo. But then Evo is like the Super Bowl of the fighting game tournaments, and then they had this big scandal. Niggas was wilding, so then Evo got canceled, so niggas stopped going to Evo. So I really don't know when the next fighting game tournaments are going to happen and when they're going to be, but I do want to be a part of those. And also, I have a goal to go to Japan. Like, I just like a lot of the culture. It's like really, realistically, it should have been the language I studied in high school, but I just want to like learn more about it and just deep dive into that and get into that world. It's really the only places I really want to travel. Traveling's cool. Kind of sucks though. Like,
Yeah.
either way you slice it, like driving sucks, and I think honestly flying on a plane sucks. The only thing is flying
I've
on a
never
plane.
been on a plane.
No
Really?
way.
Nope, I've never been. Everywhere that I've been to, everywhere that I've traveled
scared
to
to fly?
has been base driven.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not scared to fly. It's just one of those things where like
I was terrified to fly.
I feel like a lot of planes just, I don't know, it just costs an arm and a leg to get to and from, you know, like for
I mean,
me,
it's not that bad.
I mean, for
Yeah.
me, I just rather just drive because I like the feeling of like just like having
you
my
like
own
driving.
having my own personal space with my own thoughts and everything. Whether I'm with somebody or I'm just alone, you know, like I take that time, you know, to just like evaluate and look at the scenery of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So I'd rather drive than to, you know, take a plane anywhere. Whether it takes fucking 24 hours and 16 minutes like it did last year, or like just 15 minutes.
Well, you can drive. I'll meet you down there after I'm already kicking with.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's cool. That's cool. I like it.
I like flying. I haven't had a bad experience, but one time the guy sitting next to me got absolutely plastered.
Plastered like the
Absolutely,
wall?
like spilled twice to the point where
Jeez.
like flight attendants had to like come and help him. And he kept on apologizing to me, but honestly, he was kind of in a mood because he was like watching Bob's Burgers or something like that too, and it was kind of funny. But I like the second time it happened, I was like, okay, dude. And then they ended up cutting him off, so I kind of felt bad. But I don't know. Other than that, I've never had a bad experience flying.
I think so. I've flown, I think, twice. If we count there and back, I've flown twice to Arizona, once to California, and then one time to Vegas. And I think the Vegas trip was my first time flying, so like we had some real bad turbulence, and that shit sucked. And then also like your ears popping, like that sucks. Usually it's just like the start and landing of it. Other than that, I'm pretty much okay and fine.
See,
when I
you got
actually-
all these regulations to being on the airplane and shit. Why not just take your car?
because that puts mileage on your car. and your
Yeah,
car
I don't want to put.
breaks
I mean,
down.
my car is relatively nice, and I don't want to. I don't want to
How
put
many
any
miles did you
on
put
it.
on your car when you took
On
it
the
out?
last one?
When you took it out there?
Fuck. Well, here's the,
That's
better
got to be at least
question.
1,000.
Better question: how much gas did you spend? Because I know
That's-
your car be guzzling gas, both of them.
with
Gas guzzle.
well, the last one was a V6, so it wasn't as bad. Like as far as that out there goes, yeah, I don't know. But
How much did you spend in gas?
I probably spent because it was divided between two people, so
Yeah.
it was me and then them, and I think each of us spent probably $120,
Oh, see, that's not that bad.
and we only stopped
But that's like your flight.
because
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I.
we filled up. I filled up before I left Iowa, and then we filled up I think we went through Nebraska, then Wyoming, and then we filled up somewhere like in the early morning of Utah.
See, because like some areas, like Iowa, I have no issues driving towards anything around Iowa. But then there's some states like Nebraska. Some Nebraska, you have a 7-car lane and all fucking death.
Nebraska is by far, and not to hate on Nebraska, but it is by far the most boringest, the most unaesthetic fucking place to drive through, like at all.
Wyoming was beautiful.
Wyoming is all right. Wyoming is pretty much like a combination of like Nebraska and like Utah. It's just more grassier mountains.
Well, yeah.
I mean, Iowa's pretty boring too. Like
it is. At least we have that wildflower prairie act where they grow it in the sides of the roads, you know. I think
Iowa also has a lot of those. What the fuck are they called? Like wind tunnel?
Oh, the turbines.
Yeah, wind turbines. Yeah, like we have a lot of those too. I mean, I don't know. Like
we were the #1 wind state for a while. I don't know if we still are or not though.
I guess it just depends on the car, and it depends on like where I'm going to, and then like also how many motherfuckers you travel with, because like I drove, just like from college. I drove with like one person in the car, and it was a grand old time. We were just chopping up. I drove with 4 people in the car. I drove with 5 people in the car. 4 or 5 people can kill themselves. Like I hate having that many people.
I'm not putting 4 or 5 people up in the Challenger
because like
we can't all fit. I mean, it's a big car, but
it's spacious.
I mean, I bet you
at the most
you could fit.
4.
You wouldn't be comfortable,
including me. 4.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it's a big car, but we're all big people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're grown ass people.
Yeah.
That's actually a great segue into our next topic. Staying in shape in the winter.
It's the hardest shit to do when you get older. I'm telling you, man.
To me, not to me.
Or you're already skinny.
Well, right now I'm thick. I'm the.
Describe yourself as
thickest.
My
walk around weight is usually like 185. Lately, I'm about 195, 196, pushing 2.
Well, matter of fact, what was you remember your playing weight back in high school?
I want to say like freshman, sophomore, I think I was like 150, 160. Then junior, I turned to 170, and then like senior, I was like 180. Then Iowa Western, I was like 180, 185. Then after the freshman workouts, and we got big as fuck like that. My Debo weight, my Debo weight was like 190, but I was like a clean 190.
Clean 190.
But I've always been like 20. I'm probably like a high 25% body fat right now. But I'm just my shit just out. Like I'm getting that gut, and I'm just like, wow, I need to do something about this.
Fuck. I think because remember we had them sheets like of our position, and then like what we weighed and our height was. I was a tight end, so my weight was like senior year it was 185.
So yeah, we was probably walking around about the same way.
The crazy part about it is like I was 185 like for like football, but then like because I played baseball too, that shit went up to like 195.
That's because y'all asses would go to Taco Bell and post it Taco Bell.
And I ain't trying to hear nothing because you was with us too.
I know. So. I didn't eat it though. I just tagged them on.
But then what was the worst part about it is like one friend I would see, he would do the stretches, he would do the whole 9. You and like some other people.
I'm not gonna lie, we ran that.
Y'all niggas would look at the stretches like, I'm not doing that, and they would be like this shit.
We would show up 5 minutes after everybody do the stretches.
Like, oh my god,
ridiculous.
That's why y'all was trash.
We were the star players
for baseball.
Yeah.
Man, how you gonna call yourself a star player when you barely played? Because you guys was uneligible. Didn't want to play. Didn't want to wrestle. Didn't want to do basketball.
I didn't.
You could have wrestled.
Yeah, you could have got
hard. Fuck that.
But then you wouldn't have been wrestling. You just would have been practicing.
I should have played tennis.
You should have low key.
I don't think
but
tennis-
you gotta be fast.
Tennis is a spring sport, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Fuck, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You could have got up your eligibility through wrestling and then played the whole baseball season, but this nigga wanted to wait until the baseball season to play baseball and didn't play.
It was only 30 days, you know. I want everybody
Nah,
to think
that shit was that was a prison sentence. That shit was like a whole 90.
Well, listen, I played.
Why do you think some of the football players play basketball? Because it's like, nigga, you locked up. You ain't gonna
I
play.
played like 15 games sophomore year.
Don't y'all have like 40?
We have 40. 15 games sophomore year. I played like 15 junior year and then fully senior year.
Oh, okay. Well, at least you played your senior year.
Yeah, because I had to. I want to fucking graduate.
Oh my gosh.
And then, surprisingly, I never was ineligible. I did fail one class, but I was able to play.
I remember that. Your mom beat that ass, boy.
No, she didn't. She didn't beat my ass. That was also like, because that was the time she had cancer too.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it was like a D and F, and then I failed, and I was like, damn.
But I mean, I've always been like me, as far as you, I just see you as skinny. Like, that's all I'm going to see you as.
Yeah,
like,
you look pretty skinny.
But me, I've always been like a bigger built dude, you know, like muscular.
You
And
just
like,
have a gut. Like, you skinny too. Like,
Yeah,
if
you're
you,
pretty skinny too.
if you got rid of your gut, you would not be.
it's all because of this, you know? But
Nigga, that was before that.
yeah, that's true. I'm drunken a lot.
You always got that mechanic gut. Like,
Yeah, you got
might be your alternator.
Maybe the alternator might be the carburetor.
Yeah, but she was never really a big guy. Like, I never looked at you like, oh, you big as hell.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, one time, because like we would have these conversations, me and Brian, and like just driving, just out of the blue, and be like, "Yo, so you still think I'm fat?" like
no.
me, her be like, he told me one time, he's like,
You've never been fat.
if I don't notice it, then you staying right where you
Yeah,
are. You know,
you've never
and like
been fat.
I've always been like I've always been very disciplined about like me sustaining a certain weight rather than just losing it. Because like if I could stay this way until I'm like 35, 40, then shit, I still call myself
good,
I
yeah.
still call myself a pretty good
Well,
sexy
okay.
dad.
Hey.
You know,
This nigga, I don't know.
you know I want my you know.
Let's go back a little bit. So what was the biggest you ever weighed?
Fuck, it would have to be
Right now.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
right now I'm
Yeah.
like, because right now I'm 230.
I weigh 130 right now.
But I think 130 personally for me, like females, I think that's like a healthy weight.
No, it is. I'm the healthiest. So I go to the doctor, you know, for just checkups and whatnot. And my doctor said that I'm like the healthiest I've been. So that's cool.
good,
But
yeah.
I mean, like,
Was your
you
least
gotta-
weight during like cheerleading?
Yeah, I mean-
because you were younger too.
Yeah, well, you look at photos of me in high school. I guess I didn't realize how skinny I was until like looking back, because I haven't grown at all height wise. Like,
Yeah.
I'm the same height, and I weighed probably around like 110, 115. Leaving high school, I was probably like 120. So I haven't gained that much weight, but those pounds, like the 10 to 20 pounds that I did gain, were needed. Because you look back and I was just a toothpick. Like anyone could have just picked me up and threw me at any second.
Toss you some damn where.
Yeah,
Like-
I was tiny.
But that's like, to me, that's like the ideal weight, anywhere from like 130 to 170.
Yeah.
Like, as long as
I don't
you
think-
look.
Well, I feel healthy.
Yeah.
You know, I need to work out because I feel weak, but I feel healthy.
She's
Like,
she is spitting bars.
Vegetarian life. You know,
I'm
that's
not
what
the
you do.
No, I'm not a vegetarian. I'm a pescatarian.
Pescatarian, sorry.
Isn't that where like fish and all
Yeah, so I only eat fish and seafood, and I was vegetarian from September of last year through like May or so. Well, not even. It was when COVID started happening, so like March, April. But I went to the doctor then because I have Crohn's disease, and so I basically asked her, I was like, with my diet now, if I were to catch like COVID, would it like do some damage? And she was told me that I should eat some protein, and that's when I started becoming pescatarian. And I don't think I would ever go back to being vegetarian, just because there's more options this way.
I just also I feel like it's almost too extreme to do like one thing. Like
Yeah.
there's that like carnivore diet kind of where you only eat like red meats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what Brent's doing right now.
Like the shit works. Like I know someone that's done it personally and they lost 20 pounds in a month. Like that shit works. But
I don't know. That's just so crazy to me.
I feel like I just can't eat
because you're eating like
meat.
You're eating meat and then you're adding on like eggs onto that sometimes.
I don't know if that's good for your skin essentially either.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I've never looked into that diet.
I mean, if you want to lose weight quick, like that's. I mean, obviously you gotta drink water and things of the nature.
Yeah, for sure.
That shit's a good way to do it. I know personally. Like I said, like this is the thickest I've ever been, and I feel the gut, like the gut's there.
Yeah.
Look like I got food baby 2 months. Like I do want to try to eat cleaner. And like my biggest problem is like even if I cut off pop, I could cut off pop, but I'll just get like real bad caffeine headaches. So I have to gradually do it, and it's kind of hard to gradually do something like that.
Getting through those caffeine headaches, man, it's rough. I'm
so used to it that I just kind of fucked up my body. But I feel like once I finally break that cycle, that I'll probably be the healthiest I've ever been. But it's just hard, especially
not to mention it takes money to eat healthy too.
Facts.
Going to fucking Whole Foods. I remember going to Whole Foods when I was on that whole like that organic diet.
Yeah.
That shit literally coming out the store, I spent $230.
I believe it, and that's why it's so hard to
that did not play, man.
Especially like, I'm at the crib and then like mom cooks so like a 4-course meal, and I'm just like, fuck, am I gonna go spend more money for meals here?
Yeah.
And like that's the hardest part. But I definitely want to eat cleaner. I'm gonna try January and actually try to focus up.
Being pescatarian is cool in regards to eating cleaner because I cannot eat fast food. Like, I mean, really, Bebop's has a fish sandwich that's good, but like,
it's delicious.
It's pretty good.
As they say on their song.
You know, like her favorite spot, I've never been. Like El Rodeo.
Oh, El Rodeo.
I've never been.
They closed down.
I wholeheartedly
the one by
do not like El Rodeo. Yeah, that one's been boarded up.
Yeah,
for
that
a couple
one. It's
years
closed
now.
down. It's I'm pretty sure someone else just bought it and just finished renovating it. It's El Salvadorian restaurant now, I think. I don't know what it's called or anything.
I never really liked authentic Mexican food like that. I mean, other than Monterey, if you guys ever been to Monterey,
yeah, it's good.
I like that. They have like this big ass California burrito that shit.
They have one other location though.
We gotta go sometime.
The other location you're talking about El Rodeo, right? Mm-hmm. Is the one in Urbandale the only one that's left? Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
We gotta go. I never been. I like that always kind of piqued.
I haven't been there so long.
Well, the reason why I liked it, it's so. I really just like bean burritos, and whenever I order it, people make fun of me. Like forever, people have made fun of me for just getting a refried bean burrito, but I love them, I love.
Not to sound like a ghetto little ratchet kid, but the ones in high school and school,
they're good.
I don't like. For the longest time, I mean, I don't like baked beans or like beans and chili. I don't like, but like if I'm at like
it has some beef
Chipotle or like fucking pepper jacks, I'll get the beans or whatever. But like them bean burritos, I used to get them all the time. I hate beans. Like
so good.
I was like,
I have a funny story about beans that just happened. This is a little bit off topic, but I went to my mom's for dinner. I do like once a week, just go have dinner with her and my little brother. And I walk in and she goes, "Oh, that's great. Like, hey, I made ham and beans today." And I go, "Mom, I can't eat ham and beans," you know? And she was like, "I know, I made you yours without the ham." And I go, "So beans?"
Right.
This woman dished me up a bowl full of beans with a side of cornbread. Isn't that so funny? I was like,
funny.
Hey, that's actually a traditional black food, beans and cornbread. My mom makes that literally every other month.
Yeah, my mom don't do that.
It's like lima beans too.
oh, see, mine wasn't. Mine was like the beans you get from ham and beans.
Or like pinto beans. She'll mix it other time.
I feel like, I don't know.
But she was like, "You want to try some of this? It's good." I'm like, "No, I'm good. I don't want to do it." I mean, I don't mind beans, but like, I'm not eating them like that.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, I feel it. What else was there? We didn't really talk about staying in shape. We just really talked about food and just. That's
where we're staying in shape. Like I'm going
to get a gym membership. I need to. It's time. I just need to get muscle mass because like.
What happened to the gym membership that like you told me about? Like,
but even the weight you're at now, if you just tone that up, you'll be like fine.
No, I know. I just feel like I struggle carrying something that's 50 pounds, and it's embarrassing, kind of. I don't want people to do stuff for me just because they think I'm weak.
I could always like work out and carry stuff and be strong, but now like that I'm older and like I have a physically demanding job to an S, like I'm tired of that shit. Like that's the worst part of working out is like being sore as hell and then going and then like working or trying to socially interact with people. I'm just like, damn, bro, I'm tired. Like I can't feel my legs. And then it's just being consistent. Consistency
I get that,
is so
especially
hard.
when you work doubles within the field you're in. Like the end of the day, your feet just get to hurt, and my hips would hurt.
oh, I install windshields for a living, so imagine having to cut the windshield out and then lift it off the fucking car and then put a new one in, and then like it's like one of those
like so many times a day, and then and crazy thing is like most people's bodies are like deteriorating while they're doing this physically.
exactly like one of our coworkers spent like was lifting like a 230-pound window trying to get it in one time by himself.
Holy cow!
It was like a semi window or something like
I
that.
did not.
And he was going over, his arm literally just went this way and snapped. Like he spent almost $25,000 on a whole entire reconstructed elbow. And the fact of the matter is, what's crazy is that it didn't even heal like correctly. So they had to do another surgery for it to like
re-break?
fuse it up and then re-heal it. And then he was out for like a year and 6 months.
Could you imagine me even
Fuck
trying
that, right?
to pick up something that heavy? Because that would not budge. That's not.
Trying to pick up something that heavy and then going over top of your own weight and then trying to set it down on like a vehicle? No.
And that's the thing too, is like I've had jobs in the past where like I had to lift something that was kind of heavy, and I think I had to lift it like almost like at this angle or like something where it's not natural. Like, all right, I'm lifting weights.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, bro, you can't lift it. Well, no shit, Sherlock. I don't train like this.
Awkward. It's an awkward thing to carry.
It's like, damn, you can't lift that, bro?
It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just using all my neck and shoulders at the same time when I lift this. Like, shut you down.
But I mean, as far as staying in shape throughout this like winter time and COVID, because you know we don't know when gyms will shut back down again or open back up.
Yeah.
Like I think our friend Brent is struggling right now because the gyms out there are still closed. So
Although I do, not to go off topic, but I do think we should do lockdown again.
Oh yeah, me too.
First.
I'm all for it.
I'm for.
They said if we do a lockdown within like just like a complete like probably like 3 weeks or so, we should be in good shape.
I was super happy during lockdown, all the time in the world to just be by yourself. I love my own company.
I love me some me. Like I was living my best life. Like,
Sure was.
the only problem,
Introvert life, man.
the only issue with the lockdown was that one, like both my parents are technically essential workers, so they had to work the whole time. And then two, I wasn't getting my money. I didn't get my money till like 5 or 6 weeks down the line.
No way.
So I was like broke and struggling. I mean, I wasn't struggling, but I could take care of the bills I had. But other than that, I did not have any. Another topic that's kind of on the same thing that we already really talked about is aging. I think I'm noticing about aging is like, so I've always been that type of person that like, if I care, I go 110%. If I don't care, I don't think about it whatsoever. If I learn something and it's easy to learn and pick up on, I'm the coldest. I'll teach everybody. I'm like the fucking philosopher of the world or something. If I don't get it, I'm just like, damn, I don't get it, and I don't try. That shit is harder on me now as an older adult than it was back then. Like I feel like I'm like I want to learn stuff and like learn like Photoshop and video editing and all these things, and like it's just harder now than it was when I was a kid. Any struggles you notice, Tyler or Anna, like as you're getting older? Just like anything?
It's just a normality of just waking up and aching. You know, like
True.
I mean, from the physical jobs that we have, and then maybe on top of that, adding on like dedicate like time to the gym. and then going home, showering, doing whatever, and then laying in bed for an extended period of time, whether it be 8 hours, 5 hours, whatever. And then just waking up for me at the dead ass in the morning, like 6 o'clock, and just being like, fuck. Like I don't want to get literally the first things that I crack in the morning are both my shoulders, because those are pretty much the 2 pinpoints that hurt the most for me, and I do like a roll, like each one, and then once I hear the crack,
sleeping on one that's torn. I gotta tear my
fuck
shoulder.
that.
Yeah, it's not fun. Like it's almost to the point where like I'll wake up and then like if I sleep wrong, like I'm fucked. I'm just like, damn.
Right.
I'm like, I'm getting old because this shit sucks. I'm only 26. Like I'm not even anything you notice or
I don't know. I mean, my hips hurt, but that's like a whole nother ballpark. Like I actually have what they call bursitis in my hips.
What is that?
It's just a type of arthritis.
God.
And I get steroid shots in my hips to get rid of that once a year. But other than that, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how I feel about aging. I don't know. I'm only 23, so maybe in the next 3 years I'll have some big like epiphany when I'm your guys' age. But as of right now, a lot of it is, I guess I'm just becoming finally like comfortable with who I am. I don't know. That sounds corny though, but
No, I mean,
it's true.
This is true.
Like,
You know what I mean?
For me, like, I mean, obviously we're both the same age. Like for me, I'm getting out of the car a certain way now. Like I'm literally getting out of my car like this, complete hips turn, leg this way, a whole 90 degrees.
Well, your car's really low to the ground too.
It is, and like
You got a lot of leverage.
I literally got to turn a certain way for like shit to like my hips to not hurt, and it's the craziest thing to think about, and it's one of those things where it's like, fuck, is this gonna get worse like as I get older, you know? And like I don't trip on it that much because obviously it's gonna happen. It's inevitable that we're going to feel those certain different things like as we get older, but it's like one of those things where like you have to be more alert now as far as taking care of yourself, just as far as physicality goes.
My body just hasn't really started hurting yet, besides my hips. But like outside of that, I really haven't gotten the like aches and pains and stuff yet.
Not to mention the wear and tear on sports, obviously.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And even for you, cheerleading, like
I know that's probably that's probably what happened to my hips. I don't know, but even that, I'm like a power through type of person. Like I'll be like, they don't hurt me that bad.
But also at the same time, not to like put fear in anyone, but that'd be the shit that fucks you up.
No, I know, low-key.
Because like, well, now it really sucks now because like I don't have insurance because you know obviously when you turn 25 you get off the insurance. So I'm like, damn, bro, like I could be fucked up right now. I need to go to the doctor or hospital. So I'm like, I can't.
It's gonna be through the roof.
I can't.
You might as well just die.
Bro, so funny story that you mentioned it. In college, one of my homies got bit by a bug. I think it was funny. It was college, so it was like he was like, "Yo, it was enough to where his shit was like swollen. His whole hand was swollen.
Holy cow!
So it wasn't no normal, just regular bug. I don't know what the fuck it was. Maybe it's a spider." And he was like, "Yo, can I borrow your car?" I was being a dick. I was like, "I'm about to finish this game. I'll just take you." And he's like, "I gotta go now." I was like, "All right, bro, I'll take you." Like it's like 5 minutes. So then he ends up on somebody else's car. He goes to the nearest hospital. I think he got an IV, something like that. Something like light.
Damn.
IV in the sense of like it was just like a normal checkup, and they're like, oh yeah, you'll be fine. It just has to, the swelling just has to go down. So put some ice on it.
Okay.
Shit costs $2,000.
No way.
For a simple IV. It was like $1,800, and then they charge them for like just showing up.
I refuse.
I didn't got the bill.
Can't go.
I refuse. I don't like. Y'all know me. I do not go to the doctor. I will be on my deathbed, and someone will be like, "All right, it's time to go." That's a lot of money.
It's like going to a mechanic and they find some other shit wrong with it. It'll be like, hey, you know, we changed the oil, but you know, you might want to figure this out. They'd be like,
see, that's what I hate. Not saying like I hate society or we should like talk about like all that jazz. Like I hate it in the sense that I would honestly go to the doctor more and like try to figure more shit out about like my body and what's wrong. But the shit's so goddamn expensive that it's like you gotta sell your soul to the devil just to fucking see. And it's just like, damn, bro. Because I remember like there was something wrong with my stomach, and I think I just had like a virus, but like they had to do so many tests and like they just couldn't find nothing out. So like I'm feeling like a dickhead because I'm like, I know I'm not right. I know physically something's wrong with me, but then my parents are looking at me like, what the fuck wrong with you? Right. Like the doctors can't figure out. I feel bad because it's like, all right, we gotta do this test, we gotta do this test. So you're just thinking of the bill and you're like, I feel terrible, but I don't know.
I mean, it's crazy to think that like as human beings, you know, we have maintenance too that we need to take care of, like ourselves, you know, and like things just have wear and tear on them, and situations happen.
And then also another thing,
I can't even think of like a injury that either of my parents had really.
my dad tore his ACL and he technically needs to get like a new knee, but the shit's only gonna last 15 years. So that pretty much like whenever you want to, he can move, still do all his things, but he's just like, well, shit, might as well wait till I really need the new knee if it's only gonna last 15 years. And he just turned 50, so it's like he still could have like 40 more years of life. So
I mean, the only substantial ones with my parents have been like just like hernias, you know, and you can live with hernias, but like it's just a matter of like,
how do you get one though?
It varies. Like sometimes like fluid builds up because like for us being as physical as we are, like at our jobs, we get hernias. Like it's a muscle that pretty much tears and then it overlaps pretty much. And my dad had 2 of them things.
God damn.
So he went in one time, got it fixed, and then the shit tore and overlapped again. So we had to go in there and get it fixed. And then not literally 6 months later, my mom had one.
God.
So like, it's one of those things where like it kind of runs in our family, and I'm knock on whatever the fuck this is, that I don't get one like throughout my lifetime. And like, you know, that's why I'm trying to take care of myself. So like I don't end up in those situations, I guess. Like
I feel it. Another thing, last thing about aging is like, bro, I'm trying to learn so much shit, but it's like it's time, it's management, it's trying to focus.
Patience is lost, bro.
I don't have patience. I don't have patience because it's like, bro, time's ticking. Like I'm trying to learn all these things, and it's so hard to learn, like, because even just thinking out loud here. Imagine school, like the shit we learned in school was not necessarily the same shit that they taught, like even our rival schools and things of that nature. So it's like you have to learn it at a pace that makes sense for everybody and like who's really teaching it. And in a weird way, YouTube is a good teacher. Like that's how I've been learning most of my shit. But
for sure,
it's just been harder to learn and like really integrate it in my brain and like what I do in everyday life. Of just like just doing it every day as far as getting older goes. Especially even like this mental health game too. Like that shit's another Pandora's box of just stuff we're just now realizing. Like, because it's like even if you go back in time, like damn, I wonder if that was like trauma or if that person was really going through it. All this other shit. Now, y'all probably heard me talk a lot on the podcast that I could gracefully bow out on this subject. This subject is more catered towards y'all because y'all are the nightlife, y'all are the clubs, y'all are the whatever you want to call. I'm more of the homebody. If you see
I used to live in the bar.
If you see me out, it's good luck. Bet on black. But yeah, anything. What did you exactly want to talk about as far as nightlife and clubs? Because I don't know.
You had nightlife and clubs on there?
Yeah. Because I don't know. We talked about this too. Like as we got older, you know, as far as like you know. As far as like bars and stuff like that, do we really need to be at bars? Like,
heck no.
Like, is it the same feeling that we had back then that we feel now about, you know, certain bars, especially during this whole pandemic and shit?
Oh my god, y'all know that 20-year-old Anna through the age of probably 22. So
she was wild.
Wild. I had a drinking phase and a big one. Not like drinking. I just mean going out. Like I went out often.
Right.
I mean, it was fun. I was a different person. Looking back now, I'm just like, damn. I spent a lot of money.
Right. buying yourself drinks, and it'd be like 2 or 3 at a time, and then buying another person's drink, and it'd be like 2 or 3 at a time.
That's the thing. I don't even like drinking like that. I would go out half the time and just go,
right, yeah.
like, and just hang out with you guys, which is cool. But like, we can hang out inside.
And not to mention paying to get into a certain bar. I think one bar that we used to go to was like $10 to go in.
Oh,
like, hey, you gotta cover, bro.
Which
$10.
isn't even that much. 10's not even that much. Like,
but it adds up.
But it adds up.
It adds up every single weekend you going, and you go like Friday and Saturday, boy.
I know. I don't know why.
And it'd be bad even more on holidays, like Halloween. Oh, hey, $20. What?
I hate going on holidays. I don't know.
Bro, you reverse that walk down the court steps.
Shit, that same bar on New Year's would be like 50.
Yeah. I'm
Hey,
gonna be honest.
Fuck that. I mean, I know a business and they try and get their hustle any way that they can, but
I absolutely love cocktail bars now, though. Now, I don't know. I love sitting down and I will spend the $10 on a fancy drink, 13 whatever, on a nice martini. I love them.
Right.
And I mean, you can have, when you go to a cocktail bar, you're not even going to like drink. You're going to like enjoy the atmosphere and just sit and talk. Exactly. So you just have one drink. It's an actual enjoyable beverage, and then you leave.
Where's that one place that we went, like Omaha, like a couple weeks ago?
Oh, I took you to White Rabbit, I think it's called, or Wicked Rabbit.
Wicked Rabbit, yeah.
Wicked Rabbit.
That place was absolutely pretty interesting and extraordinary.
Yeah.
I would like to go there one more time.
Alice in Wonderland theme. I've been there before. A couple of my friends took me when I was in Omaha. So I was like, Tyler, you would really like this. And their thing is the first 3 drinks on their like popular page, they light on fire. They'll like bring it out to you and light it in front of you. And it's really cool, and it's really pretty in there, quiet, which is nice.
There's like this big ass like bookshelf that you got pushed to get into.
Yeah. So
that's the craziest shit ever.
It's a speakeasy. So when you walk in, the walls are filled with books and like just bottles of alcohol that you can purchase. And the guy that's standing there is like, oh, do you want to like buy books today, or what are you thinking? And then you go, oh no, I want to go to the bar, and then they literally pull like a book out of the wall and the door opens up and you go in. Yeah, it's like the movies.
I'm telling you, man.
It's cool.
I want to go. We can make it. But as far as like,
not during the pandemic.
But like, I mean, as far as like just enjoying people's company, like I mean, now that I think about it, like I was a very social like person. Like I literally had everybody around me, like, and I would talk to everybody. So I think that's kind of like one of those things I've always had about me, that where like I could kind of just move in different worlds and be able to like hang with different crowds and stuff like that, like when I was younger. And I think you got that too, like as far as just knowing me throughout like our life in high school and stuff like that. And
I'm social, but I'm just either shy or asshole. So
now that I think about it, I'm like, man, I just want to go in here, just have a drink or two, and just be. I'm not trying to really talk to everybody in the fucking bar.
I think part of being like, I said 23 years old. The main thing I've learned is like being comfortable with myself,
Yeah.
And I think part of that is realizing that like, oh, I don't need to drink a lot and go out a lot for everyone else to still like me. Like, y'all are still gonna be my friends, even though I'm at home. And for some reason, like, my brain didn't register that when I was like, 20, 21. I was like, nah, if I miss something. I mean, that's like FOMO though.
Also,
like I'm the life of the party. How they gonna drink without me? Like, I gotta go.
Some people still do the peer pressure thing, which I like find kind of annoying, because like there do be nights where I'll go out and chill and be social, but I'm not drinking, I'm chilling.
We know a couple people like that, but
Yes, we sure do.
But I guess dive-esque bars, or like the little hole-in-the-wall spots where it's just like real chill. And
well, we went and played darts at that one.
Yeah, like see, like that's why I'm more on my scene right now. It's like just give me a good group of people and just chill.
I learned I'm really bad at darts, but it was fun.
Almost spoke to IL, but
yeah, but it was fun.
I like those type of bars, or like even like big dogs and just playing pool and just a little isolated. Like that shit to me, that's where I like belong and stuff like
You
that.
pretty much already know my favorite bar to go to at any given moment.
Black Sheep.
Black Sheep, man.
But you know I love Black Sheep.
Exactly. Like, it's the best bar. As far as, like, my attitude, as far as, like, how we are as people, it's the best place to go to.
It's relaxing, which you wouldn't think it would be, but it
Especially
is.
if we get Brian to go.
No, Brian would just be like, what is going on here?
But,
This shit called Black Sheep. Like, I'm just like, the shit's like my little radar.
But, like, I mean, it's a cool little place, and, like, I can't think of anything else.
You know?
Literally anything on court, I'm staying away from.
Heck no. Yeah, no, we're not going anymore. No. You cannot pay me enough money.
It gotta be something. It gotta be in the summertime. It gotta be a warmer month, and it's gotta literally be just we're going to one place on court, and that's it.
Oh no, I'm not going.
See, if I drove more, like I would go, but I'm really just honestly downtown to see like certain friends in certain areas.
Exactly.
Like almost just to support the people that work at bars. That's pretty much it. That's the only time that I'm downtown like that.
And you know, you got those one friends. Every time you go downtown, you see them either standing on the corner, smoking a cigarette or whatever, or they're talking to like the bouncer or whatever, and they see you every time. They stop what they're doing. They be like, "Oh, hey, bro, hey, Tyler," hey, like something like that. And it's just it's like
that's why I
be like, "What you doing, bro?" It was like you just asked me the same thing last week. Like I just saw you last Friday.
But they're just seeing you too. If you saw him last week, that means you were there both times too.
Like I got something more to say.
That nigga is depression and he needs help.
Yeah.
That nigga's there every weekend. It's like, bro, you don't want to do nothing else.
But he be feeling good about himself. Like he don't have a care in the world.
You don't read the book, nothing. You just go.
We're not going to name drop, but like one of our boys, he will literally be at a bar. He'll get a text or a call somewhere, and they'll be like, "Oh, bro, I gotta go." He will literally go across the street to another bar.
No way.
Meet somebody there and bring that person back over to the other bar, and then be like, "Oh,
I know who y'all are talking about, but
I know somebody.
wonder who it is."
I know somebody who would solely go to the bar he fucks with. They don't serve him. This nigga will leave the bar to go to another bar to get the Henny, then come back.
Then come back and be like, "All right, I got my Henny."
You would think he would just go to the bar with the Henny. Like, if that's the issue, why are you at this bar that don't got the Henny?
No, I hate Henny. I do. I hate.
You gotta mix up the right things. See, Henny and cream soda, Henny and pineapple. It was really good.
You know, I'm just not trying to drink hard liquor anymore. That's what it is.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm cool with my beers.
I'm cool with my Rockstar liquor. You know, I got two different kinds of Jack Daniels, but
We get it. You're an alcoholic. You don't have to keep bringing that up every episode.
I like beers and cocktails, I guess, but like just the one mixies, like the Henny and cream soda, I can't do it anymore.
I could drink that like as far as like moderation, and then I'd be forgetting that that's an actual like alcoholic beverage, and I'm like, ooh. You know?
And then Tyler's feeling himself.
And then once I'm feeling myself, I gotta do something. I gotta drink something hard. You know.
Whatever.
And then that's when stuff goes awry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I end up next to.
You all know that.
I end up next to a toilet.
Is there any books or anything that you guys have been reading, or anything that you?
Dude, all I do is read.
Literally, that's
about it.
I love.
You get books from your birthday from me.
I get you guys damn near supply my whole entire year. Not really, but you guys always get me a lot of books for my birthday and for Christmas and stuff, and I'm very thankful. Right now, I am reading a book. I believe his name is Junot Diaz, but I don't want to accidentally get that pronunciation wrong, but he wrote this book called Drown. Whoops. You're fine.
Brian's fucking up.
He wrote this book called Drown, and my friend was like, "Hey, you need to read this. You will love this book." And so I did. And I did. I absolutely loved it. So I'm working through his other books right now. I just got finished reading this book called Her Story and Other Parties, or Her Body and Other Parties, I think. But that was really good. I just got done reading the poetry book Two Fish.
Right.
I read I have read more this year than any other year combined.
Right.
And which, I mean, I read a lot in general, but it's just so much extra time right now. You know?
What would be your favorite genre?
Oh, I love horror.
Yeah.
My favorite genre is horror. You knew that.
Yeah,
Horror?
Yeah, I love horror.
Really?
Yeah, and it's weird because I use...
Is it scary in that book?
In
Like
a
the
book?
Stephen King books, like...
See, I'm not a big Stephen King fan. You always give me Stephen King books, and I'll still read it. I'll still read it. His short stories are phenomenal. Like, actually, they'll give you, like, goosebumps, you know, but his longer stories, you know, I mean, they're good. Obviously, it's Stephen King, but they're just, I prefer his shorts. But I didn't really like horror until I took a horror class in college over the genre, and that's when I realized, like, how much effort goes into it, and a lot of horror is very closely tied to, like, issues within society. I mean, that's why, you know, like...
Shit, scared being a black man every day.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you talk... And I feel like people don't appreciate it enough, like how it takes issues within society and just brings it so, like, up front, like, into your face. And then, I don't know. I really like it, though. Book form, movie form, love it.
I'm more of like a audible
Oh yeah, for
than I
sure.
am like actually physically reading a book. For me, I feel like because like I'm kind of like I have like dyslexia a little bit, so like for me, just like everything is just like a skim through, like how I like read things. So like it's not necessarily like everything pretty much looks like a run-on sentence to me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's just a trouble with consistency. That's how it's always been for me. So I mean, I'd rather just listen to stuff like that because it's easier for me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I can't read a book, obviously, but you know.
Well, there's nothing wrong with some things are even better when you listen to it. I mean, I read, you know, for instance, The Yellow Wallpaper, if we're talking about like horror, you know. You read it and it's not, I mean, necessarily a horror story, but then you can pull it up on Audible, listen to it, read either normally or like in a horror manner,
Right.
and it adds different levels to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Because I essentially like when reading a book, it's like how you interpret it and like how it hits you. And some people it might not hit them that well, especially if it's like hard for them to like concentrate or pay attention.
Yeah.
Mainly the books I've been reading is like motivational, like multi-millionaire type books. Because like I said, I'm trying to do something with the podcast. I'm trying to be a person that like.
Have you read the 48 Laws of Power yet?
No, I haven't read that. I don't really want to read it just off the strength that like I've listened to Charlamagne so much that he kind of already says.
Right, yeah.
But I think the book I was reading, like I was reading some books, then I ended up going to Barnes and Noble, and then I ended up seeing like there was manga there, so like all the shit that I've always like loved, like Dragon Ball, One Piece, all that. So I started rereading some of those. So I need to get back to the books. But I was reading this book about Michael Jordan's trainer, and like his stuff he was doing was just so fascinating, and like how his mindset is and how his determination is. So that's pretty much been the books that I've reading, is just like the books that have taught me business and the books that just teach me about like being successful. And then a book that I've read this year that did impact me was I believe it's called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depending on It. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah,
but
no,
it has the gun to his head and like all that. That's a powerful book. Because that book taught me to say like I love you in the mirror to myself. And that shit's hard.
No,
I still
and it
can't do
makes
that
a
to
big
this day. That's the
difference.
hardest thing that
Hard.
you've ever tried to tell me to do, and I can't still to this day.
Like you need to do it. Like that should be your 2020 end goal, and like doing shit like that. And I need to reread it again. But yeah, that's a really good book. It's not long at all, but that's pretty much.
I need to read that. I've heard it's good.
I got a copy if you want to.
Yeah. I found my book list that I asked for Christmas.
Go ahead.
We got Good Omens by Gaiman, When You Are Engulfed by Flames by Sedaris, A Visit from the Goon Squad by Egan, and I've read short stories from that, and it's phenomenal. And A Room of One's Own by Woolf. And I'm a big Virginia Woolf fan, so, you know, that's what we're working with, hopefully, come Christmas.
No doubt. I mean, you put it out there in the universe, maybe you want
Yeah.
lovely listeners will send you through an Amazon wish list or something. But you're not safe, though.
Yeah,
before we end the podcast, the streets need to know something, man. You can't come on the podcast and not explain this to us. Not in trouble or nothing, but the streets need to know. There's a dance called the Anna that our squad knows about.
Oh my God.
Can you audibly describe what the Anna is?
My gosh.
We're not saying you have to do the dance, but can you describe what it is to our viewers?
Yes. So my go-to dance, like when we're dancing and whatnot, having a good time. Stop.
You ain't gotta do the dance.
Tyler's laughing so
the explanation of the dance. So if you're ever out, you know what I'm saying?
So either arm of your choice. You just put one up in the air. You put the corresponding leg up as well, like bend the knee, and you got it. You just
kind of like the way you put the leg is like, you know how like they used to do the twerk team things where they're about to kick it out to the side and they wiggle it a little bit. That's what you do.
And you shimmy and like pop it out in circles or something.
Like, I'll never forget. I might have been this. Yeah, I don't know, because it was early, and I remember we was, I think, at Annie's or something like that. So it might have been last year, but it was like kind of cold essentially. And we was out, and we was in a little circle, and everybody was like, hey, everybody do the Anna. I'm like,
it'll come out of nowhere.
Like, what you talking about? And sure enough, she starts doing it. Everybody starts doing it. I'm like,
I'll show up to a place, like, I'll just be casually walking in, and everyone's like, oh, do the Anna. And then they start doing it. I'm just like, y'all gotta stop.
It's literally like a song. Like, you came to the bar to see, like, you came to a concert to hear one song, right? You come to the bar to see that.
That was literally the only two topics I knew I had for the podcast right now. I was like, I'm gonna hype her up, and I gotta ask her about that.
That's funny. Oh my God.
This explanation, the origin story of the Anna.
The Anna, I don't know.
That might be the episode's title.
That's funny. I can't even remember the first time I did it. I don't know why. I had to be. Right? And then it just stuck because it was funny. Like, and I just kept on doing it, and then everyone else kept on doing it. The Anna.
Those mostly happened at Annie's, by the way.
Yeah.
That's funny how that works. Yeah, that's really just all I want. The last thing I wanted to touch on and bring on.
That's funny.
Anna,
oh my gosh, it's been a while.
Anna, we appreciate you for being on the podcast and sitting down for an hour and talk to us.
Oh, for sure.
Is there anything you want to promote, like Instagram? Do you have a blog where you're writing something? Anything in the world you want to promote? Get your shit out.
I did just start writing for my friend Phoenix's blog as well. He has his blog, Rise Again, and he asked me, he's super sweet, amazing human being, and he was like, hey, you write. I know you like writing. Do you want to do blogging as well? I was like, for sure. So I just do that occasionally now. So if you want to check out his work, it's amazing, phenomenal. He does such a good job, especially within.
Do you know the link?
No, I do not. I know it's.
You can't just type it.
Well, it's called Rise Again. Hold on.
Well, I mean, you can't say Phoenix. That's kind of.
I know.
All you gotta do is just type it in Instagram.
No, yeah,
actually,
it's right here. The Instagram is just Rise Again. The @ is Rise Again Create. No spaces. Just.
Is that? Didn't you? I think you posted a story, or no, you posted a post on your Instagram of like, I think yourself. Is that affiliation?
Yep, that affiliation.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
So I've really just been doing that, and you know me, I write poetry. If you ever want to read any of my stuff, just DM me, shoot me a DM.
Where can they DM you at?
I was getting there.
Okay.
It's Anna_Stigall, which Stigall is STEGALL. I'm always happy to like share my work and have people tell me what they think and whatnot. That's my Twitter and Instagram handle.
And Tyler, anything that you want to say to the closing audience?
Just continue to spread positivity throughout this entire life, throughout this tough situations that we've gone through throughout this year, and be able to be yourself in any situation, no matter whether it's negative, positive, or in between. Just make sure that you stay you, and you be able to look at any situation through the bright side and positive in any way that you can. Please keep that in mind, not only for the rest of 2020, through 2021, and throughout your life. So yeah. And I'm about that. Now I am newly found as far as like positivity goes, and I am about this positive shit every day, 24/7, 365, and I am here all day long. Whenever you need some sort of, guidance to, hey, Tyler, I'm having a bad day. Is there any type of post or anything or any type of words, that you could show me that like can get me through anything? Just message your boy at TTL_02 on Instagram. That's where most of my posts go to. And I hope that you have a very, very beautiful Monday tomorrow, because everybody hates Mondays. And I hope that you had a nice Sunday as well. Yeah. And not just a nice Sunday and Monday, but have a spectacular week. Please do that for yourself, for the people around you.
I like this new positive Tyler.
God damn it.
Real. But I didn't think you were going a whole 2-minute tangent.
Yeah,
last thing I want to say on the podcast
I'm very adamant
be
about
sure
this.
to support the podcast, because this podcast ain't cheap. $500 on my wallet. The way to do that is to rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, like it on Spotify or YouTube, like it on YouTube, share it, show it to your mama, your auntie, your daddy, whoever you fuck with. Just show it, put it out there in the universe, like how we putting positivity out there in the universe.
Support
put it out there.
Creatives.
Put it out there in the universe, and somebody's gonna find it, and somebody's gonna like it. That's pretty much it for me.
See you guys next Friday or Saturday, one of the two.